My name is Rhonda Harris, and I joined EYG in the fall of 2007. When I joined EYG, I was really in a deep, low valley of my life. I had just really survived an abusive situation where my ex-husband had shot at me and a bullet lodged in a Bible. He had come at me at a funeral with a knife. He tried to stab me, so I was really at a lonely, hurting, depressed, a lost situation. My sister had asked me to come to Maryland, maybe to get away from the things that was happening in Texas. Once I moved to Maryland, then somehow maybe my hurt moved towards her. That relationship became broken. So I found myself in a new land, new place without many friends, not knowing where to go, not knowing anything about the area. But nevertheless, I did meet some friends. They were fun at first. We were hanging out at the clubs, and I just didn't feel good about that. It was fun at first, but just sitting around, and then they were negative and judgmental. So I had a desire in my life that I wanted to change. So I always belonged to a church. So one night I went to a meeting at Ebenezer AME Church, and a lady stood up, her name was Tina, and she gave her testimony about what she was going through. I related to her situation, and at the end of the church, I made it a point to introduce myself to her and just speak with her. Tina told me about a group called Embrace Your Greatness that a friend of hers named Pastor Don had started. She invited me out. I came to the first meeting. Immediately at the meeting, I felt very comfortable. I felt that I could open up. I joined, and I was able to talk about things that I had held in that I hadn't shared with anyone. It's like I was molested when I was 10 years old by a cousin in the family. I was able to let go of that resentment and hurt that had happened to me. I was able to talk more about being abused and my situation with the husband, where my sisters had all sided with him, because even though he had set my mother's house on fire, even though he had come at me with a knife and shot at me, somehow they still felt a closeness to him and not me. And I realized that blood isn't always thicker than water. And I was trying to deal with all that anxiety and hurt. And EYG helped me to focus in on the fact that, to realize that if God be for me, who could be against me? And EYG helped me was my source to let me know that God was healing me. And it helped me to cry out to him in my times that I needed someone to just comfort me. And being in the class with EYG helped me to open up with people where I could express my hurt. I could express what was going on with me. And I learned in EYG that if God be for me, who could be against me? That I was the apple of God's eye, and greater was he that was in me, that was in the world. And when my enemies did come up against me, like a flood, that he would set up a standard against them. And if you're listening, then maybe God wants to make a difference in your life through EYG. Because EYG helped me to realize that I needed to get closer to God. They made it fun. They made it enjoyable. We had fun activities that we participated in. And Pastor Don was a very gracious person to be around. You're around loving people. It'll teach. EYG will help you to learn how to love your enemies, love yourself, and most of all, love God. So come on out and join EYG and be blessed and be a blessing.